gunning.
I'm watching back this race. Maserati, it just sounds like a fast, and it sounds like a Ferrari, doesn't it?
It certainly
I'm
does.
driving my Maserati.
This is a Ferrari-like performance, huh?
And she was 5-1 when she ended up winning this day. This is the Maryland Million Turf Sprint, and I mentioned that she beat the boys, but she got pressure late, and she just kept finding more. I loved the guts that she showed for glory here for Brittany Russell. Often when a horse runs really strong race, the next time they come back, they can bounce. And I think that's might have been what happened when she came back in November. They subsequently gave her some time, have freshened her up, and I'm looking forward to seeing her run today.
Simply stated, the number 12 is where I'm going to go on top in here. I thought she ran pretty well last time. She didn't break well at Keeneland, sort of wound up in between horses, had to get to the outside, and then came with a good stout run at the end. I'd like to see her break a little bit better, but I do know she has a strong stretch kick. Maggie Trombette is a bit underrated with these sort of horses. You do have the 5 in here, Mendy's Honey. This is a horse trying turf for the first time, but by Mendelssohn should handle it.
And that's exactly why I use this filly. And look, she's in really good form. This is the best time to try something new with her, and that's what Anthony Farrier does.
2, 5, 9, and 6 for Millie, 12, 9, 2, and 4 for me in the very one. Race number 12 is coming up. It's the Grade 3 Pimlico Special. So much history associated with this race at 1 mile and 3/16 on the main track. Big scratch in here with the 7 Pyrenees. The defending champion would have been the favorite in here. You're going to go with the 8, Star of Wonder. We talked about Star of Wonder before we went on the air, and Star of Wonder has a lot of upside potential.
Lightly raced 4-year-old colt. This will be his 6th start, but he has won 4 of 5 to date. He draws an outside post position. He's got plenty of time, I think, to get over. He'll be ridden by Flavien Prat. Lots to like about Star of Wonder.
Phileas Fogg, speaking of 4 of 5, has won 4 of 5 since being claimed by Gustavo Rodriguez. The most recent race, just a huge effort at Aqueduct, tracking a horse that was a runaway speed. This horse was not a hard chase at all. Confidently handled by Kendrick Carmouche, cruised to the front and kept on going. Proved that he doesn't need the lead to win in that race, and that could be key because there are other speeds.
You're absolutely right. And also, I mean, for Gustavo, this is a beautiful campaign that he's given this 5-year-old gelding. You look, he's not put him over his head. He claimed him, he got the victory, and then he's just kind of babied him through some races, continuing to give this horse confidence. So kudos to the trainer there for the job he's done with Phileas Fogg.
And I like our second choice in here, Encino, a horse that was a graded stakes winner, going the synthetic to Dirt Roof for Brad. I just think he's sort of racing himself back into shape.
I've seen him in the morning. I believe he's the one that was wearing the draw reins. He's a very high energy horse, and it makes sense that you look at his form, and he's a fast horse. He likes to get going. So I used Encino. He's a homebred for Godolphin. So 7, 8, 3, 1 is where I ended up in there.
I'm going 1, 3, 4, and 8 in race number 12. Now the big one.
Okay.
The Black-Eyed Susan, race number 13, the first leg of the late daily double, 1 mile and 1/8 for 3-year-old fillies. Let's start with our video spotlight horse first, and that is Kinsey Queen, just coming off a really impressive race for Greg Compton, who won with a horse here yesterday at Oaklawn.
And I think if Kinsey Queen at Pimlico, I knew what you meant. If Kinsey Queen repeats this race that you're watching right now, I think she's going to be very tough to beat. She absolutely circles the field. She's in the 5 saddle towel here. She was supposed to win. She was 3-2, but still, with the trip that she had, very game down the stretch. Look at her. The further she's going, the better she's getting on. She's push button to go 1 mile and 1/8. That's exactly the type of ride I'd want with a horse that's push button like that.
And isn't this what's known as a confidence booster for a filly like this? Just getting a nice, easy win.
Yes.
I think you're right. I think there's a chance this Black-Eyed Susan is fast early, and then it turns out to be a test of stamina to the wire. And I think the 4 running and gunning might have that sort of stamina. She comes out of the Grade 2 Fantasy. I thought that race was just controlled and dominated by front runners. She was the only horse making up any sort of serious late ground. She finished ahead of a couple of next out winners in that race, and she really improved her buyer's speed figure. Steve Asmussen's been shipping her around Churchill and Sam Houston and Sunland and Oaklawn. I don't think the ship will bother her. I think she runs late.
You know, Dan, a lot of people will be wondering what happened to Princess Aaliyah last time that she ran. And I spoke to the coach, Dwayne Lucas, and he said that there was an incident when she was getting saddled, and she kind of backed up pretty hard into the wall. And he said he thinks it just rattled her enough because it's such an extraordinary race from her. She's never run a race that poorly before. So put a line through that race, and he said they've had a really good week here with this filly. So I think she's going to run above her odds.
I love that pick. It's just a value play. This horse is going to be a great price, trained by a living legend, and coming off a race where you have a legitimate excuse. And this horse should get the right trip, just in the second or third flight behind the speeds. I like the 2 and the 5 there with your top pick. Margie's Intention we have to talk about because this horse is now with Brad Cox. Listen, she's been running against some tough Louisiana-bred competition. The horse that beat her the last 2 times came back, was second in the 8 bells.
That flatters this form, and that's the big question with Margie's Intention is she ready to step outside of her Maryland-bred races, right? Or Louisiana-bred races it was actually. But those were restricted state-bred races. Now she gets to run against open 3-year-olds in here. So that's the big question. She's going to have to step up, but she has the right connections to do so.
I have a Marth in here hoping to bounce back to her Busher Invitational 2 starts back, her first start of the year. Maybe she bounced a little bit in the Ashland. She was wired that day by a decent filly in Lacara. I think she gets a much stronger race flow this time around. 2-5-3-6 for Millie, 4-8-3 and 5 for me in the Black Eyed Susan, our main event on Preakness Eve at Pimlico. Race number 14 closes things out. 5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden special weight, fillies and mares. The 2, Roja, goes out for the Great Graham Motion, and this horse has been waiting for turf.
I think so, with that pedigree, indeed. And you can see first time they just sprinted, came back. I love the 2 sprints on the dirt, and then now on the right surface, off the effort, even though it was a dirt race, first time out, off that effort, this filly is fast enough to win this race.
Oh, I think she's going to be right there when they turn for home. Mirdama is going to show some speed, but she's been the beaten favorite in her last 3 starts. She has earned very competitive buyers. Would not be a surprise. Another one trying turf, though, for the first time, and a 5-year-old with only 4 starts.
And she's actually the only older mare in this race. It almost could have been written for the 3-year-olds. But with that being said, she's going to have to carry 126 pounds, whereas the remainder of the field carry 118. So if you're a believer in weight, then maybe you're not going to go with Louis Sayers on the 4.
Miss Out of My Way is my top selection, although I am concerned looking at the female family that this horse might want to go just a little bit longer. There's a lot of route ability here, but there's also a lot of class. Trombetta put a bullet workout into her 2 starts back. 2-4-7-6 for Millie, 3-4-2-1 for me in the finale. 18 minutes to post for race number 1 on Black Eyed Susan Friday at Pimlico. The main track is fast. The turf course is good, and we've got an all-star array of talent on air the entire weekend.
They're on deck.
Which means I'm leaving. The all-stars can now join and give you some real analysis. We're going to go up to Dave Rodman at the top of the stands for scratches and changes.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Pimlico, home of the Preakness on this Black-Eyed Susan Day. 15 minutes to post time. Sunny skies, winds out of the southwest at about 5 miles per hour. Temperature in the 70s today. Main track fast. The turf course is rated good. Here's a look at your Pimlico program changes as we have them with 15 minutes to post time. First race, scratch 2 in the chase. 2 in the chase out of the first. Second race, no changes, race 2. Third race, scratch 7, Armando R. Third race, scratch 7, Armando R. No changes in the fourth race, no changes, race 4. Fifth race, all clear with no program changes. Sixth race, scratch 4, Noble John. Number 10 had to have him. First time gelding. First time gelding. Number 10. Scratch 13, Stormy Flight. Race 6. Seventh race. Number 1, Curly, Larry, and Mo. Jockey Paco Lopez. Paco Lopez. Jockey on the 1. Scratch number 10, St. John. Scratch the 10. Eighth race, the Hilaire Dupont Distaff Stakes. Scratch number 8, Sudden Switch. Scratch the 8. Ninth race, the Hilltop Stakes. 2, Play with Fire. Weight in your program, 118. Play with Fire, weight 118. Number 9, Sigh No More. Jockey 1. Jockey is Junior Alvarado. Junior Alvarado. On number 9, Sigh No More. It's Junior Alvarado on the 9. Sigh No More. 10th race, Miss Preakness Stakes. Scratch number 9, Long Neck Polo. Scratch 12, Vodka with a Twist. 9 and 12 out of the Miss Preakness Stakes, race 10. 11th race, the Very One Stakes. Scratch number 3, Pleasant Embrace. 13, Maggie's Girl is 2 over. 12th race, the Pimlico Special. Scratch number 7, Pyrenees. Scratch the 7. Race 13, the George E. Mitchell Black-Eyed Susan Stakes. No changes. 14th race, all clear, race 14. Track fast. And the turf. Good. 12 minutes to post time.
Welcome one and all to Old Hilltop. We are fast and good this afternoon. I'm Zoe Cadman, joined by Michelle Yu. Michelle, the first of 14 races coming up. We do have 3 graded stakes this afternoon. Of course, the feature race will be the Black-Eyed Susan. Who shall pick in the Black-Eyed Susan?
My pick's going to be Paris Lily. I saw
Really?
Godolphin, and I thought I'm not going to look any further. So going to be going with the Brendan Walsh training in that race.
I'm going with the favorite, Runnin' and Gunnin', something that we are about to do in this upcoming first race. It is a very nice optional 2 other than an allowance optional claimer. We do have a scratch of the 2 in the chase here. All the money's going on the 6, Michelle, and we spoke to Flavien Prat earlier, and I'm like, can you win the first? And he simply said, yes, I think so.
He would know. He was aboard this horse for the debut win over at Colonial, and we don't see a lot of Brad Cox horses starting at Colonial. So it's interesting to see what he's kind of come to. The field that he beat that day, I feel like it's okay. It was an interesting place to debut $1 million son of Authentic, in my opinion, but maybe he was looking for kind of that bigger, longer, sweepinger track for this colt.
Yeah, and that was back in March. So this colt by Authentic out of the Smart Strike mare, Ruby Trust, she was a pretty decent racehorse. Queen of the Catsoul is the second down there, and she was probably even better. But nothing that really jumps off the page to garner $1 million. He did work very, very well at the OBS March sale. Comes out of a live race. Shaw, Mean to Me, came back to win. Hitchcock's a pretty nice horse as well for trainer Peter Urton. So Verifier for Resolute Racing, certainly the horse to beat in here. And how does he look there in the paddock there? Cool, calm and collected?
Hard to see with all the people around, but acting very good. And the paddock here at Pimlico is certainly different. It's an indoor paddock, and you can see the horses are stacked right up next to each other. So there is opportunity for some horses to act up. Everybody in here looks pretty professional, especially considering this is a horse making a second career start. And that tends to be when horses can act a little goofy because they're really excited about what's about to happen.
Yeah, and the thing that you'll notice about the inside paddock here at Pimlico as well is that the people are kind of looking down at them. There's a big window on that side, and so if a horse is going to get spooked, they can very easily get spooked there. So I like what I'm seeing from the favorite there. That is a Verifier. Let's take a look at the 4 Saxton for trainer Brittany Russell. Oh, by the way, she's just winning at her usual
29%.
29%.
Oh, I don't know. She's a tick under. I think for the year she's 31, all right? So just one more win, and we'll get that percentage up for her. Brittany just really places her horses in excellent spots. You take a look at this horse. They claimed him for the $62,500 and tried at Mistakes Company next time out. That was fine. He ran second, only got beat a neck. I don't know what happened in his last race. I don't know if it was just a really tough allowance. I don't know if he didn't like drawing the rail and he wasn't as close as he needed to be. Whatever it was, it's so off form for him. I am willing to just draw a line through it. Now we get back to this level. We know he runs really well at. He is going to be in for the tag again today because he's cleared the condition.
Horses coming out for the start of race number 1 also marks the start of the pick 5. That's races 1 through 5. We're going to have a post parade for your viewing pleasure, and we'll come back up right after the post parade to get through the rest of these horses in race number 1.
The horses stepping out for the first race: Exacta, Trifecta, Superfecta, Double, Pick 3, Value Pick 5, 12% takeout, Scratch 2 in the chase. Opener at 6 furlongs. 6 minutes to post time. The winner of the best groomed horse in the first race, groom Fernando Garcia for Blow By 'Em. Best Turned Out Award presented by Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance and proudly sponsored by Hallway Feeds. Be sure to play the Black-Eyed Susan Preakness double today. Select the winners of today's Black-Eyed Susan Stakes and tomorrow's Preakness Stakes. All wagers must be made by post time of the Black-Eyed Susan Stakes today. It's the Black-Eyed Susan Preakness double. Celebrate the 150th Preakness Stakes by taking home a piece of history with the official Preakness merchandise. You can visit one of our stores in the grandstand, Turfside Terrace, or infield to choose from this year's exclusive collection. From apparel to limited collectibles and souvenirs. Bring home the excitement of Preakness 150. 4 minutes.
Welcome back. We are 3 minutes away from race number 1. Zoe Cadman alongside Michelle Yu, me and you for 3 races. As we take a look at the 3 here, Michelle, Change My World for Mary Epler. Should this horse be 45 to 1?
I am really shocked. This is actually my 3rd choice in this race. He is a super consistent performer, right? I mean, he's been running out of ground in his last 2, but his sprint races are fine. He certainly suits at similar conditions. He's been just so consistent with 7 outs, 1 win, 2 seconds, and 2/3. He's acting a little.
Well, the pony's
on the
acting.
He thought it was a pony. Okay.
The pony was being very naughty there. Change My World was actually behaving much better than the pony next to him.
He looked like he was a little on the chunky side, but I didn't include him in my pick 5, which kicks off here. That current pool, by the way, about $80,000 right now. But if you had some more money to spend, I would be okay using him. I wasn't going to single verifier. I'm not a first-time versus winners single type of girl.
I have used 3 horses in my pick 5, and I'm feeling pretty confident right now.
You used the one?
I actually used the one at 70 to 1 overlaid from a 20 to 1 morning
You
line.
and I are going to go head-to-head with our 50 and 70 to 1.
Yes, we certainly are. A Son of Divining Rod out of a trippy mare. Ran okay in the mud last time out. We did mention that the main track is fast. The trackman here at Pimlico has done a fabulous job with both tracks over the course of the past couple of the days. And that was a better than look maiden 45 at Laurel last time out, going 7 furlongs. So you get the turn back in distance for straight to water. Is the pace of the race the favorite in here, Michelle?
It has to be. I feel like he went he sat close to really fast fractions that day, and he didn't look like he, wanted to be really far back. And when you look at it, everyone kind of wants to sit off of a pace, but no one sat off a pace as fast as Verifier did. So imagining what his cadence would have been, I think that he's going to go to the lead.
The 5 is Artillery Gunner for Jose Corrales, claimed out of that win last time out for 20,000 and protected here. Do we give this 3-year-old gelding by Central Banker a shot?
You know, he's been stepped up in class before to no avail. He jumped up to this level and he was well beaten that day, finishing 12th behind Chipotle, who we'll see run later. He ran 3rd for the Open 40. I just feel like for me, he is going to be a little bit lacking in here.
Who gets the first call?
Verifier.
Verifier for trainer Brad Cox, currently at 9 to 1. One more to touch on the 7. Blow by him. Any shot that he will blow by him?
Well, this is going to be his first time versus winners. That's not one of my favorite angles. He does have a lot of races under the belt, and he's been there, but against a lot less of a horse. So I think when you have some horses like Verifier in here and Saxton in here, you're up against it. Sometimes you get lucky with these races and sometimes you get a little unlucky. And when you're talking about a big stakes day, you're going to get a little bit unlucky. There's going to be a beast or 2 to face.
Do want to remind you that this race does start the pick 5 pool, $480,000 and growing.
Do I get to run through my ticket real quick?
Go through your ticket. Do you have a single?
Here. I do not have a single. So I'm 4-6 in here. In race 2, I went the 3 Mopu, the 5 Abundant Love for Michael Trombetta with the back-to-back seconds, and then I went ahead and included the 10 My Brazilian Girl. Oh, we saw the owners.
We did.
Earlier on, so that's a hunch play for me. Race number 3, I go 1-6-9 in there with my top selection being the 9 Point Doom for Jamie Ness.
Single for me.
Single. I named that horse.
I know you did.
I named him. Race number 4, the allowance race, I go 2-6 in there. So keeping it a little bit tight. Katie's Notion for Carlos Mencia on the turn back in distance. And the 6 Billionaires Row for Michael Trombetta coming off his maiden victory last time out. And then to round out the pick 5, I go 2 deep in that race. The 4 Ennistown, again for Trombetta. Trombetta's either going to love me or hate me today. And then the 7 Privman for trainer Bob Baffert. I saw Jay Privman this morning.
There's your hunch.
There's my hunch play. Bob said this was the race he was most nervous about for the whole weekend, though.
Really? Yeah. Not goal orientated
No,
in the Preakness.
he said he had the pressure on to win with Privman.
Wow. He certainly
It
does.
might have been because Jay was sitting behind him nodding.
Absolutely. All right, we are 0 minutes to race number 1 coming up. Does mark the start of the early pick 5. Good luck, everybody.
Get your tickets in for the value pick 5, 12% takeout. Old Bay is flavor that doesn't hold its horses. From the track to the table, Old Bay and Preakness 150, made for Baltimore thoroughbreds. The horses approaching the starting gate. The horses have reached the starting gate for the first. Track fast, turf good today. Loading for the Pimlico opener on Black-Eyed Susan Day. Straight to Water. Change My World. Saxton stepping up. Artillery Gunner. Verifier. And Blow By 'em. Lined up. And they're off. Sharp start for Verifier. Saxon has early lick as well. Then Straight to Water away third. Artillery Gunner is now past that runner in between horses as they make the backstretch run. Verifier gets away. So it's Verifier by 2 from Saxon on the chase, and Blow By 'em moving into third position. Then Artillery Gunner and Straight to Water is dropped to the back of the pack, and Change My World is 3 wide, heading on for the 5-turn run. Verifier. Saxon won't go away though. Saxon's on the chase, coming 2 deep to try to put that pressure on Verifier. Verifier 3-ace out, a neck lead. Saxton is right there on the outside for back, and it is Blow By 'em in third. Then Change My World on the far outside with a quarter to go at Pimlico. It's Verifier who turns her home. The chasing Saxton there on the outside. Verifier given the cue to open and pop away once more. Does it 2.5 lengths in front from Saxton second, and Straight to Water. Then back to Blow By 'em and Change My World only for a minor share. Verifier, easy work for Verifier. Verifier and Flavian Pratt when going away, widening the margin to almost 7 at the finish. Saxton just hangs second from Straight to Water. Close to the next spot, Change My World or Blow By 'em. One minute 10.65. 6 Verifier first, 4 Saxton second, 1 Straight to Water third, and 3 Change My World finished fourth. Verifier, jockey Flavian Pratt for Resolute Racing, trainer Brad Cox. Verifier, 3-year-old Chestnut Colt by Authentic out of Ruby Trust by Smart Strike. Bred in Kentucky by Gainesway Thoroughbreds Limited. Running time 6 furlongs, 1 minute 10.65. First race official. Prices coming up. No changes in the second. Exacta, trifecta, superfecta, double. Pick 3, pick 4, 1 mile on the turf. Rated good. $2 exacta pays $4. Dollar trifecta, $20.90, 641. $1 superfecta, 6413, 49 even. No changes. Second race. Exacta, trifecta, superfecta, double, pick 3, and pick 4. Lined up. Lined up. And they're off. Sharp start for Verifier. Saxton has early lick as well. Then Straight to Water away third. Artillery Gunner is now past that runner in between horses as they make the backstretch run. Verifier gets away. So it's Verifier by 2 from Saxton on the chase, and Blow By Him moving into third position. Then Artillery Gunner and Straight to Water is dropped to the back of the pack, and Change My World is 3 wide, heading on for the 5-turn run. Verifier. Saxton won't go away though. Saxton's on the chase, coming too deep to try to put that pressure on Verifier. Verifier 3-ace out, a neck lead. Saxton is right there on the outside, 4 back, and it is Blow By Him in third. Then Change My World on the far outside with a quarter to go at Pimlico. It's Verifier who turns her home. They're chasing Saxton there on the outside. Verifier given the cue to open and pop away once more. Does it 2.5 lengths in front from Saxton second, and Straight to Water. Then back to Blow By Him and Change My World only for a minor share. Verifier, easy work for Verifier. Verifier and Flavian Pratt when going away, widening the margin to almost 7 at the finish. Saxton just hangs second from Straight to
are 40 minutes away from race number 2. It was a chalky start with race number 1 and Verifier getting off with a very nice win there for trainer Brad Cox and Flavian Pratt. Maybe the first of many for Pratt today and Cox? What do you think?
Well, they hope so, right? And congratulations to you. Your long shot beat my long shot.
You owe me a Coke, and I will take it in spades. All right, let's look forward to this upcoming second race. We're on the turf. Turf is listed as good. This is a maiden special weight. We'll be going 2 turns, and we're going to take a look at the 10. I'm going chalk. Again, call me a chalk-eating weasel if you would like, but there's a good look at the 10, the current favorite right now, my Brazilian girl for Kerry Bryan. Tony Mitchell trained this one last time. She's exiting a grade 2 event, cuts back in distance, and she's got some good numbers coming in. You're getting one of the nation's leading rider in Arad Ortiz.
I've always liked this filly. They've run her in 3 different stakes races, and she's still a maiden. She's run well enough in those, and she's run well enough for her maiden races to say she's going to get one someday, but I find it very hard to rely on her for the W just because she's been at many different class levels, and she loves to hang out with her friends. She doesn't like to finish in front of them as much.
Are you trying to say she's polite, Michelle?
She is. She's like the Zoe of racehorses.
After you, my dear. There's a good look at my Brazilian girl.
We do have a rider swap here, right? With Irad Ortiz getting aboard. He's a little bit more aggressive. He might be able to just pick her up and carry her
a little
to win.
bit more aggressive?
You know.
You're being very kind. Okay, let's look at the 12. We'll take a look at software here for trainer Graham Motion, the 3-year-old daughter of Munnings. Pratt looking for the early double here, 7-2 on the morning line, and she is currently at 7-2 here. As we look at a backtrack at Keeneland, she only gets beaten 2 3/4 lengths here with Pratt aboard, Michelle.
Now, she did have a pace setup, right? They got 21:44, so as she's able to come from the absolute clouds to pick up a piece there late, the setup worked out for her. She's also going 2 sprints to a route, which is an angle that I really like. It gives them some outs as far as fitness goes, as far as experience goes, and for a horse that was that far back in both of her 2 career starts, I really think they've just been waiting to stretch her out. Pedigree-wise, she should suit the 2 turns. I like her in here, but she was not my top selection.
Let's take a look at your top selection, Michelle. You're going 5. We're looking for a bit of a price here with Abundant Love for Michael Trombetta. I can't talk you off of her. She's had a brief freshening. You know, I spoke to Michael at the 2-year-old sale, and he said what he likes to do when he brings these horses up from Gulfstream. She went to Live Oak and was turned out for 4 weeks there and had a little bit of a freshening, and then he brings them up. So she's a fresh filly coming in, and she's been training extremely well at Laurel.
Well, I like the fact that as they've stretched her out, I feel like I've seen a natural progression from her, right? And it might just be experience, it might be fitness, but I'm hoping it's because they have stretched her out and kind of found what she needs. Not every horse is a first-time out winner, and this horse has been knocking on the door. She did step up from the maiden 50 successfully in that maiden special weight races, those last 2 outs before her break. Now, she obviously didn't win on debut, and her return to the race after another break wasn't great, so this could be a regression in a Anita race, but I'm hoping that she has enough kind of residual foundation to get the job done today. Pedigree-wise, by a Kitten's Joy out of a Bernardini mare, 2 turns should be her all day long.
Absolutely, and Bernardini mares are flying right now.
They're so good.
There is an atypical Kitten's Joy. She's kind of got that angular hip. She looks turf all day long, so a good look at Abundant Love. Mopo is the 3 for Phil Capuano. She's liable to be the pace setter in here, do you not think?
I think so. I mean, she really found something she liked about the grass last time, and maybe it was just the route of ground that she went, because she had been running in maiden claiming type races, and she was nowhere to be seen early on. Ended up running second on debut, but she was still well beaten that day. Stretched her out, put her on the grass, stepped her up in class last time. It was like all these synapses fired, right? She also got Lasix added last time as well. So I don't know what the magic marker was, but for sure she showed marked improvement last time. She does get off the rail here, but she is surrounded by horses, Zoe, that have been beaten 13, 14 lengths at the first couple of points to call. If she wants the lead, all she has to do is say, yes, I will take it.
And we mentioned Arad being aggressive. Jose Ortiz, while he's not quite so aggressive, he's a very good tactical rider. He's the guy that can sit just off the pace, so she'll be forward under Mopo. I gotta tell you, Michelle, I think she looks fabulous in the paddock.
Yeah, she does look really, really good.
Really, and some people take a hunch play, horse
Horse
going
to
to the
poop.
loo. Yes, some people use that as a hunch. Let's look at the 4 now, Panama Canal.
Look at her lovely braids just real quick.
She's got good braids, and unfortunately the jockey will probably pull them all out. because
Only some of them.
That's what they like to do. Here's a first-time starter. She's the X Factor in here, the daughter of English Channel, out of a catcher in the Rye Mare, coming in for Horacio de Paz, who doesn't have the best stats first out of the box, but he can win first out of the box.
He can win, but, you know, just looking at her attitude in here, she's not acting like a filly I think is going to be forwardly placed in her debut, right? Maybe she warms up a little bit differently, but she's walking around like a pony right now. Flavian could bring his kids out and do a little lead line class. And when you look at her works, I mean, we are consistently seeing 50, 51.
That is Horacio de Paz.
Okay.
That is Horacio.
We're not going to see anything that's quicker if she has any speed.
He's not one to work his horse. Listen, she obviously is lacking a bit of a killer instinct. She's going 2 turns on the turf for her very first start.
Well, look at the pedigree. She's an English Channel out of a catcher in the Rye Mare. I think that that's a smart thing to do. And but to me, if she just doesn't have any early lick, you put her on this grass, so then they all just kind of hang out, and it gives her that opportunity to slow burn her way into maybe a good finish. So if we're talking about her being the X factor as far as the pace scenario goes, I just don't see it. I think that this is Mopo's race if she wants it from go.
How about more acceleration? That was a really good debut on the polytrack down there at Gulfstream Park. Now the polytrack, the Topeta, excuse me, does have a tendency to play to the closers there, but she made a really good run. She gets Ruiz to ride her today. More acceleration could have just that for trainer Michael Matz, who definitely points to this race meet.
Yes, he does point to this race meet. And this filly ran probably better than anticipated, considering she was 48-1 or so in her debut. And, you know, pedigree-wise, I think grass might suit her a touch better than the synthetic.
The 13 is Super Willowa, the 3-year-old filly by Hardspun, one of 2 in here for Michael Trombetta. Could it be the other Trombetta? 19-1. Do you know what a Willowa is?
I do not.
It is a sudden violent squall blowing offshore off a mountainous coast.
Did you know that, or you had to Google?
Well, Google's my friend, right? And you know who told me?
Who?
Michael Trombetta.
Did he?
He did. And this filly's been training very well, but just beaten 2 3/4 lengths. I don't feel that she should be
Too far out of it,
bigger
right?
odds as she is. She's
She's
8-1.
going to be closer.
Paco won 3 races yesterday. He knows how to ride this turf course. She comes in 2 weeks ago with a bullet work.
And then he shortened her up with a 37 and change.
Yeah.
I feel like she's the one that's going to come, make a good run, press Mopo, and make the pace lively.
Looks like we're about to have riders up here for race number 2. Does also mark the start of the early pick 4, 50-cent pick 4, races 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's a good look at those Live 8 Oak Plantation silks. Mikel Sanchez is going to ride Abundant Love for Mike Trombetta. Aren't they cool silks? I can
Yes.
watch those all day long.
The Mieski silks.
The Mieski silks, exactly. So we're about to have riders up for race number 7. Is there anyone else you want to give a mention